Welcome to the Better Bookkeeper Show. I'm your host, Lynn Talbott, longtime bookkeeping mentor, coach, and the person who's rescued more bookkeepers than I can count. Today's episode is for all you bookkeepers looking to go out on your own and accidental entrepreneurs out there wondering, what does it actually take to start a bookkeeping business? Whether you're fresh out of the corporate world or side hustling your way to freedom, I'm breaking down exactly what you need to get started, from skills and systems to confidence and community. So grab your favorite coffee mug, open up that notes app, and let's get your bookkeeping business off the ground. The smart, strategic, and profitable way in 10 easy steps. So I loved being my own boss. Think about what it would feel like to be your own boss. It's honestly the number one reason I started my business, because I got tired of being passed over, overlooked, or pushed down when I knew I was capable of more. So if you've ever felt like your talent wasn't visible in the corporate setting, or you're done waiting and ready to take the leap to start your own bookkeeping business, this episode is for you. Waiting to feel ready is really what keeps most people stuck. So let's talk about what you really need to start a bookkeeping business. And spoiler alert, it's not as much as you think. You don't need a fancy office, you don't need a fancy website, and you don't have to learn the latest trends on social media or try to master some kind of advanced sales funnels. You don't even need a ton of tech, and you certainly don't need to spend thousands of dollars in startup cost. You've already got the bookkeeping skills. Now you need a system and a plan to put them together for a successful business. What you do need is a strong foundation, some tenacity, and a few simple tools to get you up and running with confidence. So without further ado, here's the 10 essentials for starting your bookkeeping business. Number 1, your business plan. This isn't a 30-page beast, just a clear vision of who you serve and what you offer and how you'll price, how you'll manage it, how much time do you want to work, how much money do you need, all the things together in one place that gives you the structure and the freedom you need to really focus on your business. So if you missed it, check out my previous podcast about the essentials for a business plan, where I break down how to create a business plan specifically for bookkeeping businesses. Your plan's your GPS. Don't start driving without one, and you can get a free template on my website if you would like a quick guide. Number 2, a reliable, fast computer. You probably already have one, but you're going to be inside QuickBooks and Zoom, Excel, emails. You're going to be opening a lot of tabs. If you notice that your computer is freezing ever so often, or if you're on a Zoom call, you're freezing or the other person's freezing, it's probably time to upgrade to a new computer. You really want to get one of the fastest computers that you can with the most memory, and you want a quality camera. So it's worth the investment. You'll be able to work twice as fast. So I like the all-in-one because if I'm traveling, I can just pick it up and take it with me. I don't have the extra baggage and everything that comes with it, the stuff that's sitting at your feet. You can just pick it up and take it with you. So I like the all-in-ones. They're light and easily, portable. Number 3 is you'll need a strong internet connection. Again, you probably already have this. This one's not glamorous, but it's critical. You need a fast internet, stable internet for all your Zoom and Google calls. So one tip I have is to use the Ethernet cable, because it can be a little more stable than just using regular Wi-Fi if you're at your desk. Number 4, here's your essential software stack. So let's talk tools. Now, you don't need a tech degree or 100 of apps to get started, but having the right software stack can seriously save your sanity. I was always very cost conscious when I first started my business, and I didn't add a lot of apps early on, but I could tell when I was growing that when I added those apps, the cost of them saved me a lot of time. And as you know, time is money. And so you just have to evaluate, is this saving me time? Is this saving me money? But investing in them earlier probably would have kept me from some of the struggles, throughout my bookkeeping career. So here's a list of what I personally used in my bookkeeping business and what I recommend today. The first one is something that you probably already have, QuickBooks Online Accountant. Yes, it's free, powerful, and the hub of it all. It gives you access to all of your client accounts in one dashboard. If you're not using this, you're working too hard. And it has all these cool features that a regular user cannot use. I still have CPAs that don't know about the QBOA, the QBO accountant file. They just say, oh, just invite me as a regular user. And I'm just baffled because the data and the information you can gather using the QBOA, all the tools in there are just amazing. They really do help you quickly sum up what's going on in client files. The second tech stack I use is Calendly. So that makes it easy for clients to book time with me without all the back and forth in the emails. And I use the free version because it works for me now. Slack, there is a free version for Slack, and sometimes that's great for team chats, for maybe file sharing, or even quick updates with contractors or virtual assistants. So, and then Slack has a paid version if you get bigger. One of the ways you can use Slack is you can have a Slack account for every client. And then anybody that has anything to do with that client can post in there. You can go back and look through the history. What did you do last year? And things like that. So it lets you as the business owner know what's going on quickly, and you can solve some problems quickly if you've got access to Slack. And it just keeps your inbox for your email a little bit cleaner. Another one I use is Grammarly. There is a free version. It's great. And it just helps you sound polished and professional in your emails, proposals, and all your social posts. Because autocorrect doesn't always know all these accounting terms that we're using. I do use the paid version because I am really good at bookkeeping and numbers. I'm not so great at being touchy-feely with emails. So when I get in a back and forth with a client or with somebody, I'll just pop it in Grammarly, ask them to rewrite it in like a professional voice, and it's amazing. It sounds good every time. Of course, it's me. It makes me sound good, right? So Grammarly can really be your friend and just help you kind of level up your professionalism a little bit. Another one is Mojo or Canva. They are easy drag and drop tools to create cute but professional graphics for your social media. Again, there's free versions of this. I love it. It's easy for somebody like me to look professional and create. That's where I keep my all my fonts and my branding board. And I can just grab my different colors and pull them over, and it works very, very well. And Mojo works right on your phone. You can do Instagram posts and things like that with it. Again, there is a free version. It might be limited, but I would start out with the free version. Google Workspace is just my favorite. I know that you can do Office 365 or any other Microsoft products, but Google Workspace with the Gmail, Docs, and Sheets is just sort of becoming a standard for all professional businesses. And so you do want to get the paid version so you can get the Google Suites and you can add employees to it and have it, have something go from your website directly to your email and things like that. But I do like the Google Sheets. I'm getting better at using Google Sheets. You might be a Microsoft person, and so the Google Workspace does seem a little odd at first, but it just is easy to share documents that way. And the last one I use sometimes is Loom. That's a little video app, and I use it for client training or walkthroughs. And I use it for employee training as well. I can just say, hey, here's how you do that. I'll do the quick video, and it might only be 2 minutes, and give it to them, because sometimes the employees are like, I need to see it, and I want to record it so I can pull it up again and again, because maybe I'm teaching them something that they just don't do every day, and they want to refer to it, down the road. So leave a little space for the stack, for your stack, for tools that you use. So something that works with your unique style. I mean, you may have already worked with a CRM like 17 Hats, or some type of project management system like ClickUp or Trello. Maybe you use sticky notes. I don't know. But the best system is one that you will use and that works for you. So here's the golden rule for your tech stack. You don't need all the bells and whistles on day one. Just start with a few of the smart tools, the ones that you're familiar with, that save you time, that maybe automate some of the boring stuff, things that help you stay organized. Because the more efficient you are, the more value your clients feel, and the faster your business will grow. Number 5, you need a dedicated workspace. Again, you probably already have this, whether it's a desk in the corner of the dining room or your own office. Maybe you have an extra bedroom you can set up. You want to create a work zone. Invest in a comfortable chair, a second monitor, A second monitor will change your life. I made all my employees use a second monitor and they loved it. When we had COVID and people had to go home, I'm like, come get your second monitor. And their productivity increased. So having a second monitor, and they're super cheap. Just grab one. You can probably get a used one and it will be fine. I recommend getting a second monitor. You're probably going to need some type of lighting, a ring light or something for your Zoom calls, just so you do show up and look professional. Natural lighting is always great too, but sometimes in your room you just can't have it, the way you want it. Now, I do have a laptop for traveling, but I find that when I use my laptop for daily use or for more than an hour, it just doesn't put me in the right position. I kind of end up hunching over and it ends up hurting my back. I just don't like the way it makes me feel. So I use a desktop with a large screen so that I can sit up properly and have good posture. And if you're working all day at your computer, it's important to have good posture. So when your workspace is ready and you've got it the way you like it, your brain knows it's time to work and it's just easier to hop in there and work. So number 6, solid skills for ongoing learning. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to know enough. So if you need to be a lifelong learner if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because things are changing every day. People are changing how they run their business. They're using AI to do things. Bookkeeping's changing, accounting's changing. The tax laws are changing. You have to be up to date. So you're going to want to keep up with the latest accounting news. I would follow Intuit on your social media, and there's other social media or Facebook groups that you can follow. I follow Hector Garcia. He really gives good advice on bookkeeping and keeps everybody up to date. He's good at using AI and reminding us of how to be a professional bookkeeping business owner. So you'll just need to brush up on some of your bank reconciliations, journal entries, your debits and credits. You might even want to look at like Bill.com, Gusto, some platforms that your clients might be using. Most of those have a little training program you can go through, and it would be helpful to go through and learn some of those programs before a client comes on. You could go to Gusto or Bill.com and take their training. But if you're not sure where to start, start with the QBO accountant version. Go to the little training center and take all the training that you can. Their courses are actually very good. They're very thorough. There's probably, 30 or 40 hours worth of training inside QBO accounting, and you should take advantage of all of those. They have tests you can take to test your knowledge, and when you are ready to hire other people, you're going to ask them to do the same. You're going to ask them to become certified in QBO either before they come on board with you or within the first 30 days, because training your employees is the most important thing. You need to keep up with it too. You don't want your employees to not be trained. And so why would you not be trained and up to date and keep up with the latest? I would join maybe some newsletters for CPAs or accountants, just so you can keep up with the latest trends. So find what works for you and make sure that you are a lifelong learner. Number 7, okay, this is just setting up your business essentials. Now, I know this part doesn't sound as glamorous as like designing your logo or picking up your business name, but this is foundational stuff. The first thing you'll need to do is get an EIN number. Again, you may already have this. I recommend that even if you're going to be a sole proprietor, you get an EIN number, because when you're sending out 1099s and you're sending out tax forms and things, you're going to have to put your social security number on all these documents and send them out to all these people. You want to protect your social security number, so getting an EIN is your first step. It's free. Just go to the IRS website and get one. Then you're going to want to form your legal entity, maybe an LLC. And I recommend finding a name for your business that you like. I wouldn't use your own name. There's just lots of reasons not to use your own name. Find something that you like, and then you'll more than likely want to go register that name in the state. And then as soon as you've registered the name and you've gotten your EIN, you can apply for your LLC. So your LLC just gives you that extra layer of protection, limited liability. And so it just makes your business feel real, because you are real, right? You're a real bookkeeping company now. And having that legal entity is just kind of the next step to being more professional. You're going to open your business bank account. If you haven't already, you already know as a bookkeeper, you don't need to be commingling. So you just want to make sure that whatever bank account you open connects to QuickBooks, right? I would get a credit card as well, just a simple one like Capital One or Bank of America, something that clicks in, that sinks into QuickBooks, so that you will have some credit. You want to start getting credit for your company, right? You want your company to start having a credit rating that is good, and you do that by getting a credit card. So consider liability insurance. I would carry errors and omissions. They would call that E&O insurance. It's not required, but it is smart, especially when you get employees, because employees can do stuff that you didn't know, and you want to make sure you are covered with that. You hope you'll never need it, but you'll be glad to have it if something goes sideways. Now, you're also going to set up your LinkedIn profile. Go and make sure it looks super professional and get a nice picture on there. Start connecting with CPAs right now. I know LinkedIn isn't as exciting as TikTok and all of that, but this is where the pros hang out. This is where your clients hang out. This is where I go to find clients, and I can communicate with clients on LinkedIn as well. So make sure your profile reflects your new business. Make sure your logo is in there, and start creating those business relationships early. CPAs are excellent referral sources. Just trust me. Get on their radar. You won't regret it. And then you're going to start developing your client contract. So make sure you have a good, solid contract that is you feel comfortable with, that is legally binding. You may want a lawyer to look over it just for clarity. But you want to make sure that if you've done work for your client, they haven't paid you, you have a right and a way that you can go and get that money. But basically, it's like, you do this, client, and then I'll do this. And if the agreement, if it doesn't work, then here's the ramifications of it. And I always let my clients get out with a 30-day notice, because I don't want them to sign a long-term contract. If they're not happy with me or I'm not happy with them, we can both get out of the contract, right? So it kind of goes both ways. So you need to start thinking about a contract with your client. Number 8, find a support system, like a mentor or a community. Let's talk about something that people seriously underestimate when starting out, and that's finding a good support system. Running your own bookkeeping business might sound like freedom and flexibility, and it is, but it can also be very isolating, especially in the beginning. You're making all the decisions, you're doing all the work, and then when something goes sideways, and let's be honest, at some point you will have struggles. You will need to have some people in your corner that you can call and rely on. And this can mean different things depending on where you are in your journey. Maybe it's a mentor who's been there and done that, someone who's run their bookkeeping business that can talk you off the ledge when you mess up a journal entry, or you've underpriced a client, or you've gotten pulled into some type of drama. How are you going to get out of that? Maybe it's a mastermind group or an online community of other bookkeepers that you can bounce ideas off of. Or maybe it's just a friend or a spouse who listens to you vent about, a client. But the point is, it's hard to build a business in a vacuum if you don't have support. Even if you're an introvert or a lone wolf, having a circle of support really helps you. It gives you confidence, sanity, and it can sort of bring you back into perspective. Sometimes when you own your own business and you're working in it, you can get off track about what the big picture is. That's when you go back to your business plan as well. But sometimes you can get in your own head, and let's admit it. We've all Googled something and gone down some rabbit hole for an hour trying to find some tax law or something for a client and still had no clue what to do. And that's one of the reasons I started the training circle, so we could support each other. You don't have to do it alone. In our training circle, we talk about real scenarios, price struggles, client communication, all the silly QuickBooks quirks, and the stuff that, just doesn't make it onto Google or the YouTube tutorial. So don't wait until you're overwhelmed to ask for help. Find your people, find your tribe. There could be a local community of startup businesses. That's who you lean on. But it'll make your journey more fun, and it'll make it more successful. So there'll be days when you feel stuck and overwhelmed and you're unsure if you're doing the right thing, but you will have someone in your corner. So you just need somebody that says, hey, that's normal. Hey, everybody does that. Or here's what I would do. Or just here, let me hold your hand while you cry it out, right? You just want somebody that'll help you gain proper perspective on the problem. All right, number 9 on the list. And this one might be the real secret sauce. It's called client ready confidence. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how great you are at reconciling or categorizing expenses if your voice shakes every time you get on a sales call. Confidence is what makes a potential client believe that you are a solution to their chaos, right? They want to believe in you, that you have the answers, that you can solve their problems. And you've got to figure out what their problems are and what their struggles are in order to present yourself as the one that can save them. Now, I'm not talking about fake it till you make it swagger. There's times for that as well. But I mean real confidence that comes from 2 things: knowing your stuff and being able to communicate it clearly and calmly. So, how do you build that? First of all, you're going to prep like a pro. Before any discovery call or a sales call, you have got to know all about that client. And sometimes all you have is a name and an email address, right? It's come through Calendly and you're like Googling everything. Yes, you're going to go Google that client. First place I go is LinkedIn and look them up so that I can see all about their background and history. I'm going to go to their website if they have one so I can figure out what they do, how they manage everything. Kind of gives me an idea of the scope of their business. If you've done your homework, it'll show and it'll build trust. Second, you're going to practice your pitch. You don't have to memorize a script, but you do need to ask questions like, well, tell me a little bit about your business. What do you do? And then let them talk and tell you all about their business. You'll start to hear some of the struggles when they start to talk. And then you can ask, well, what are some of the stumbling blocks that you have? Where are you getting stuck right now? Why should I work with you? I mean, what do you need from me? What are you looking for? Those type of questions. So, and make sure you're listening because they will tell you, I have a bookkeeper, but she just never communicated with me and I'm tired of that. Well, there's a big clue right there, right? So when you're in the sales call, communication is key and you have to listen. Listen and then write down all those things that they say are their struggles. Like, what are your struggles right now? What are you struggling with right now? If you can answer those with clarity and enthusiasm, well, you're halfway there. And one of the things you can do is if you have, and I have a sheet, like a sales call sheet, it has, name, all the different things I need to know. I ask the client to tell me a little bit about themselves and what brought them here today. And then I just sort of start filling out the form as they answer the different questions. And then I'll go back in the end and ask them the specific questions that maybe they haven't talked about. But one of the things you can do is practice. Just go to like a Google Meet, set up a Google Meet, practice, record yourself asking the different questions and see your mannerisms and the way you move. And it's awkward because I don't like looking at myself or listening to myself either, but it will help you catch any of the maybe nervous habits or spots where you tend to ramble. So I would practice that a few times. And after you do it, and I did it for 15 years, it becomes very natural and you become very confident and you can hold your head up and ask the questions and take down the answers. And they know without a doubt that you know what you're talking about. Most importantly, you're just going to want to know your value. I mean, you're not just a bookkeeper. You're trying to help someone understand their money, their finances, to try to stay compliant. And one of the things I like to tell my clients is, I ask them, what keeps you up at night? Well, I'm going to help you sleep better at night. And they will tell me often after the first, couple weeks or whatever, they're like, Lynn, you're like the only bookkeeper I had that listens to me or talks to me at my level. I have never slept better. I have so much confidence that you are taking care of my books that I can actually sleep at night. And those are the comments that you want to hear from your clients, right? That they're sleeping better at night. So if you're still feeling shaky or you need some more mentoring or you just need some support, again, we have a training circle that will come in handy and we help each other figure out how to boost that confidence that you have or don't have. Confidence is like a muscle. You may not feel it one day, but then one day you show up, and it gets stronger and stronger. So the more you show up for confidence, the stronger you will get. And number 10, lastly, figure out a way to track your work, and of course, the work of your employees. Even if you only have one client, set up some type of workflow tracking. I still keep hours, how many hours I work on client files. That's some people don't do that, but I do so that I can make sure I'm not working more hours than I had anticipated for the price that I gave them. And sometimes at the beginning, you might work more, right? And then it eases out as you gain confidence and as you create rules and set up systems and you get access to the things you need to make the work go quicker. But I use the work tab in QuickBooks Online Accountant. That is great. I have a couple of my employees that would use Asana when they had very complex clients that had a lot going on. And so those will really help. And of course, going into those bank rules and just getting those set up, it takes a little time up front, but boy, does it help cut down on the hours. Because as your business grows, you're going to want to know like what's due, who's been billed, who hasn't paid, who's falling through the cracks. And don't rely on sticky notes. Go ahead and set up some systems that you know will work for you so that you can track the client work. And here's your final thought. So let's recap. You don't need a fancy degree, a pile of certifications, or decades of experience to start your bookkeeping business. Here's the 10 things we discussed today to help you get started. Number 1, a business plan. Number 2, a reliable, fast computer. Number 3, a strong internet connection. And number 4, a software stack that works for you. Number 5, a dedicated workspace with 2 monitors. Number 6, solid skills and a plan to never stop learning. Number 7, all the essential legal stuff. 8, a support system to lean on. Number 9, client-ready confidence. And the last one, number 10, is a way to track your work. But you do need clarity. You need consistency and a system that can help you grow. So I started my business from the kitchen table, just with a laptop, a dream of just helping entrepreneurs train on QuickBooks. That's all I wanted to do. And guess what? I scaled it to 6 figures before I even hired another employee, and scaled it to 7 figures 8 years later, and then sold it in 10. You can do what you want to do with your business. You can scale it and sell it, or you can stay as a solopreneur and have it fit the lifestyle that you want. But here's one thing I really want you to hear. Like, this is not just my story. This is your story. You just have to start. Start lean, start smart, start scrappy if you have to, but start your bookkeeping business today. If you've already started, develop a business plan, outline your growth strategy, and using some of the things that we talked about here today. Because your future clients, guess what? They're already out there. They're drowning in receipts and they're trying to figure out QuickBooks Online. They're confused by reports and they're wishing someone just like you would show up and save the day. You have everything you need, and anything you're still learning, you can figure out along the way. So if you've got hustle and you've got heart, you've got determination, you're halfway there. And you've got community behind you too. So let's take that first step. You're not alone. You're just getting started, and the best is yet to come. Let me know in the comments when you get started with your business. If you're enjoying this episode and getting value from it, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I've got tons more tips, stories, and real talk to help you grow a confident, profitable bookkeeping business. And until next time, I'm Lynn Talbott, your Bookkeepers Coach.